This video is about tea culture and where I think its origins come from. So, you know, this is my opinion.
That's my opinion!
If you disagree with it, unsub, dislike, fuck you, I don't care. So, I'm going to talk about two major concepts in this. FOMO, the fear of missing out, and gossip. So the first concept that I want to go over is FOMO, or fear of missing out. But in order to understand it in the YouTube context, I think that we have to kind of look at YouTube as a platform and its evolution. So really briefly, it started out as broadcast yourself, right? It was just kind of like a hobby type thing. Then people started to monetize their content. And, you know, that kind of grew and grew, and now it's to the point that it's a side hustle for a lot of people. It's a full-blown career. People can easily sustain themselves on YouTube if they play the game right and they don't get demonetized. The culture has changed on YouTube, but the thing is that with this, you know, ignoring all of the COPPA shit, the demonetization, advertiser, ignoring all that shit, in order to be successful on YouTube, if you want it to be a successful side hustle, if you want it to be a successful career, to get money, you need views and you need subs and you need to get noticed, basically, right? But continuing with the YouTube advertising monetization thing, corporations are now, you know, sticking their fingers into the mix. And corporations have you know, editors, researchers, they have manpower. People like companies like BuzzFeed, or I think it's Spill or T-Spill, I don't remember what it is. Those are companies. Those are not individual people. Like, they have budgets, they have time. And if you're a really small creator, like just by yourself in your room, you have like almost no hope for that, to like compete with that. Like, that is really difficult to compete with. But now there's just so much content, there's just so many people on the platform that it can be really hard to stand out and also be really hard to compete against these corporations. And so that's kind of why I brought attention to the YouTube, you know, ecosystem. Is on one hand, people want to make money, but on the other hand, you're competing with A, not only other creators, but B, these giant corporations that have a shitload of money and resources. So really, how can you compete? There's really only two ways to do it. One, you are blessed by the algorithm, or you talk about recent events in the news, YouTube news, etc. And this applies for literally every single platform. For example, if you're a drama channel, then you're gonna talk about, you know, the recent drama. You're not gonna talk about shit that happened 3 years ago, unless it's like relevant. Or, you know, even if you're a gaming channel, for example, you're gonna play the most recent game. If you're a toy channel, you're gonna review the most recent toy. If you are a food channel, you're gonna eat, you know, like limited edition, I don't know, burgers or something. And that can create a lot of anxiety because, you know, if you're somebody who wants to make it into a career, or you really want, if you have that drive to make money, then you want views. And to get views, you need to be talking about relevant shit. This fear of missing out, this fear that if you don't talk about the drama immediately, you won't get subs, you won't get views, you won't get ad revenue. So that's kind of the first half of where I think tea culture comes from, was that fear of missing out. The second half of the tea equation, I guess, is that humans are predisposed to gossiping, in the sense that our language pretty much evolved for us to gossip. I read a really interesting book over the summer by Dr. Yuval Harari, and he wrote a book called Sapiens, A Brief History of Humankind. And in the book he goes over basically human history. It kind of gives this whole giant narrative starting from the very beginning, when we were barely able to talk to each other, all the way to today. Towards the beginning of the book, he talks about the cognitive revolution, and that's basically when humans, you know, got big-brained, and talks about the theory of language and how language plays a role in communication, and more importantly, being able to band together in large groups. So I want to just read a little quick section here. A second theory agrees that our unique language evolved as a means of sharing information about the world, but the most important information that needed to be conveyed was about humans, not about lions and bison. Our language evolved as a way of gossiping. According to this theory, Homo sapiens is primarily a social animal. Social cooperation is our key for survival and reproduction. It is not enough for individual men and women to know the whereabouts of lions and bison. It's much more important for them to know who in their band hates whom, and who is sleeping with whom, who is honest and who is a cheat. The amount of information that one must obtain and store in order to track the ever-changing relationships of a few dozen individuals is staggering. All apes show a keen interest in such social formation, but they have trouble gossiping effectively. Neanderthals and archaic Homo sapiens probably also had a hard time talking behind each other's backs, a much maligned ability which is in fact essential for cooperation in large numbers. The new linguistic skills that modern sapiens acquired about 70 millennia ago enabled them to gossip for hours on end. Reliable information about who could be trusted meant that small bands could expand into larger bands, and sapiens could develop tighter and more sophisticated types of cooperation. The gossip theory might sound like a joke, but numerous studies support it. Even today, the vast majority of human communication, whether in the form of emails, phone calls, or newspaper columns, is gossip. It comes so naturally to us that it seems as if our language evolved for this very purpose. Gossip usually focuses on wrongdoings. Rumor mongers are the original fourth estate, journalists who inform society about and thus protect it from cheats and freeloaders. Human interaction is incredibly complicated and you can't keep track of everything, right? Like you can't keep track of every friend group possible. Gossip is a great way to create a kind of shorthand because, you know, maybe you can't know the intimate details of two people. Like you can't know what's going on. You can't like get to know two whole new people in order to understand the complex nature of what was going on in, say, like an argument. But through gossip, you can talk to one friend that maybe knows them a little bit better, and you can, you know, discuss together, have a few little speculative conversations. And, you know, on top of it, YouTube is a community. It's literally a band of humans. And so we talk about other humans on the platform by gossiping about them. And that's where T-channels come in. T-channels were inevitable because of the atmosphere YouTube has created with this fear of missing out combined with the innate human drive to gossip about other people in a community. That's it. Do you think that I'm right? Do you think that I'm wrong? Do you think these are the ramblings of a madman? Do you think I sound like a fucking lunatic? Did this video go nowhere? Or do I have a point? Am I getting somewhere? Let me know. I'd be really curious to know what you think. Now I get why YouTubers say that shit because, I don't know, maybe some of them just want comments, but I'm actually like curious. I actually do want to know what people's opinions on this are. Is there a point to making this video? Yeah, whatever. Anyways, peace. So I want to talk about this part from more of an evolutionary standpoint because humans are predisposed to gossip. And I kind of... Who is awake? Go to bed, Ginger. Anything that comes out of this is my opinion, and my opinion alone. You don't have to agree with me. If you disagree with me, then unsub. You can dislike the video, because, you know, fuck you, I don't care. Ooh. Kind of like that, actually. Unsub, dislike, fuck you. Unsub, dislike, fuck you. I don't care. Unsub, dislike, fuck you. I don't care. Unsub, dislike, fuck you. I don't care. That's genius. I feel like a genius even though it's not that smart. I am easily amused, okay? I'm going to go back to broadcasting yourself because that was a simpler time and I am a simple creature. There's not very much in here, I promise you that. Like, if you're a small creator, You know, the golden era for YouTube is over. Like, if you want to be a creator now, if you want to start now, like, this is the absolute worst time to start a YouTube channel, says the person starting a YouTube channel.